There's a couple hidden reasons why you might not be seeing comments on YouTube, whether that's on your own videos or on other people's videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn on YouTube comments on the YouTube website, as well as the YouTube app for both iPhone and Android. Let's dive right in and I'll show you the different spots that might have turned off comments for you or might not have them turned on yet. So on the YouTube website, when you're actually watching videos, you might not be able to see comments on videos if restricted mode is turned on. So right here it says restricted mode has hidden comments for this video. So that's a quick fix. We go up to our profile image up here in the upper right and we come down here and we're going to find restricted mode as on. So we click on that and we can turn it off. When we have that off, the comments will show up. So if you're a viewer trying to figure out how to turn on comments on YouTube, that could be one area where they're turned off because of restricted mode. Now, if you have an actual YouTube channel and you want to turn on comments for your videos, we're going to go to the YouTube Studio here, click up here in the upper right on that profile image, and click on YouTube Studio. Now, there's a couple different areas where we can turn on comments for videos. First, you want to make sure that your channel's not set to made for kids. That means it's only made for kids and kids content does not have comments. So in the lower left, we're going to go to settings. Inside of here, we're going to go to channel first and we'll check basic info and then advanced settings. And in here, we're going to see, do you want to set your channel as made for kids? This will turn off comments. So you want to make sure that either you review this setting for every video or your channel is not set as made for kids or not set as made for kids because maybe that's not the content that you upload. And so that could be a blocker not allowing comments on your video. Now to actually turn on comments, I would go to upload defaults next and then go to advanced settings because in here, if we scroll down, we have a comments section. This is how every video that you upload on your channel is set. And you can turn on comments right here and make sure they're not turned off as default. And then we also have community moderation. So inside of here, we have comments on new videos and posts. Make sure that's also turned on. There's basic moderation. If you hold all comments, that could be another issue of why you're not seeing your comments. They could all be held until you approve them, which you don't necessarily need. Now you can adjust your moderation here, and you can also moderate or not your live chat, add blocked words, and hold comments with hashtags and URLs for review. Usually I do that so I don't get all those spam links on my video. So sometimes it might catch a real person, but most of the time, most people are just posting URLs that are spam bots or something like that. But those are all reasons why certain comments might not be showing up on your video. Now we can save those settings, and then if you already have videos that you've uploaded, you can go to content and you're going to see those videos. If you have a lot of videos, you want to turn on comments for all of your videos, you can check select all, and then if you have more than one page, click on select all right here and it will make sure all videos on your channel are selected. Now make sure you're careful with this. This is a bulk edit, so you're doing these bulk actions to all these videos, but this one's a pretty safe one. You would go to edit and then we should find comments right here and we can click on that and we can choose these settings to apply to every single video on our channel. So we can turn comments on, we can even pause comments actually, and then you can choose who can comment, the moderation. If we look, you can add more edits to this bulk action. I like to just do one bulk action at a time so I know exactly what is getting changed. And then you can update all of your videos at once. And basically it's saying, hey, be careful, this is a bulk action. That's fine. We're going to update all our videos, and now all of our videos have had the comments turned on. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to do a single video. What you can do with a single video is find that video here, and you can click on details, and that's going to take you to the video page where we can actually edit the video information. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page because it wasn't clicking on that, I think because of our bulk edit. So we've refreshed the page. We should be able to click on details, and then it will take us to the video details page. We scroll down on this a little bit and we're going to find a show more button here at the bottom. So we need to click on that and then scroll down a little bit more until we find comments. So it's going to be down here quite a ways actually. It's at the very bottom pretty much. So comments and ratings are down here, and we can default the sort by. So you could sort by newest comments if you wanted to. and then you can turn comments on right here for that particular video. You can do this on the iPhone and Android YouTube apps as well. So let's go take a look at those. We've got iPhone on the left and Android on the right. Now, if you are a viewer looking to turn that restricted mode off inside of the YouTube app itself, if you go to the lower right hand corner, you're going to find your profile picture. And inside of there, we're going to find the gear icon at the top. And inside of there, we should find in general that restricted mode. So if that's turned on, you're not going to see comments on the YouTube app here on an iPhone. So we can toggle that off pretty easily. Now on YouTube, on the Android device, so the Android version of the YouTube app, we can do the same thing by going down to our lower right profile icon to turn off this restricted mode and go up to the gear icon for the settings. And it should also be in general. Yeah, we should find restricted mode right here where you can toggle that off. So if you're a viewer and your comments aren't showing, you can toggle off restricted mode right there, and you're going to be able to see comments a little bit better. So we swipe out of this and we can go to the YouTube Studio app. So inside the YouTube Studio app, as long as you're logged in on the account you need to be logged in on, you're going to find a community section here at the bottom. And if we click on the community section, we have a content controls moderation area. And so when we click on that or tap on that, we're going to see comments on new uploads. We can turn comments on right here and adjust the comment moderation. And so this is within the YouTube Studio on the iPhone app itself. And if we back up, we can actually go into our settings. And so in the upper right, we have our profile picture, and we can go down here to settings. Now, some of our settings aren't going to be in here that we can adjust on the channel. This is just sort of a shortened list for the YouTube Studio app. But you can actually see the audience right here, and you can change and make sure that that made for kids is actually turned off for your channel, or it says no, I almost never upload content that's made for kids. So this is probably the majority of channels. You're not creating content directly made for kids and wanting to turn comments on. But that's another spot where you can find it. Now here on Android, we'll see if we can swipe out of this and get back to our main screen. We have the YouTube Studio app on Android where you can turn comments on as well. We can click on that or tap on that, and inside of here, we'll have to make sure that we log into the right account, and there it is. So we tap on that, we're in the account. So we're getting started. First time I opened up the Studio app on Android. In the upper right, we're gonna find those settings again, right? So we've got the profile picture. We can come down here to settings, and inside of here, we can make sure that our audience is correctly set here. And then if we back out, we can go to community here at the bottom, right? And so inside of community, we have those same content controls. So same spot for these things on Android in the iPhone, or in the on Android in the YouTube app. We can change or turn comments on right here on new uploads and adjust the moderation as well. Now, if there is something you want to change here, actually, if we go into our videos, so content tab would be the second tab. Didn't show you this on iPhone, but we've got this sample upload right here, so we can tap on that. And inside of here, we're going to be able to edit all the information for those uploads. And so we can edit this info for this upload. We can decide whether or not that upload's made for kids or not. And I believe if we go down to more options, we see right here, we have comments that we can turn on for that particular video. So we can tap on that, turn comments on, pause the comments, or turn them off. And so that's the same spot if you go to edit videos here on the iPhone app for the YouTube Studio app. You can actually edit the video same way. Go to more options, and you're going to find comments right there. That's where you can turn on comments for a specific video on the iPhone YouTube app. The last thing I'll show you is I like to manage my channel a lot from the actual website desktop version of youtube.com on my phone. The best way to do that is go into Safari, go into Chrome, whatever your browser is, and you'll go to studio.youtube.com, and it's going to ask you if you want to actually use the Studio app. You don't have to. You can continue to Studio with this button down here. Now this may show a mobile view for you. So whether you're on Safari or Chrome, you're going to want to show the desktop version or request the desktop version of the site. On iPhone, you can do that in the upper left-hand corner and then click on the 3 dots with the menu that pops up. And then you should be able to scroll down and find right here, Request Desktop Website, and you can toggle that on for studio.youtube.com if it didn't show up as the desktop website. Now within here, everything's going to be really tiny and small, but you can see in the lower left, we have a settings icon, and that's going to pull open our normal settings that we looked at before, right? And so we have our channel settings that we can adjust. We have our upload defaults, got our advanced settings in here, made for kids. We can go to upload defaults. We can turn on comments. So you can manage the channel the same within studio.youtube.com in your browser on your phone if you don't want to use the Studio app, or if you don't have all the features you need in the Studio app versus being able to get to the actual desktop version of YouTube Studio. Now, same thing on Android. If you're on Android, you can just go to Google Chrome or something and type in studio.youtube.com and make sure you're logged in on the account that you actually want to be managing here. And so you can do the same thing, kind of skip past Get the App and go to Continue to Studio here at the bottom. And if you're not in the desktop version, click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and you should see somewhere in here, if we scroll down a little bit, we have desktop site right here. So we could check that and make sure we get the desktop version of the YouTube Studio website, studio.youtube.com. And of course, we can do the same things here. We can, well, we might have to verify it's really us, so we have to log in again, but we can do the same things on the studio.com version of YouTube Studio. And so that is basically every way to turn on comments on YouTube, whether you're a viewer and you're not seeing comments show up, or if you actually are a creator and want to turn on comments for your videos on YouTube.